This is Brandon. He's 23 years old from Eugene, Oregon, and right now he's on the way to meet his internet girlfriend Mary for the first time. Brandon stays on the phone with his online girlfriend Mary even while he's pooping. Hey Brandon, how about sometimes you don't? Brandon says that since he met Mary virtually, they started talking on the phone more and more every day until it became a mutual agreement that they would just stay on the phone 24/7. Remember that old song, Kiss Me Through the Phone by Soulja Boy? No, not this one, this one? Well, this couple added a little spice because we got Eat This Through the Phone, Sleep Me Through the Phone. This couple has immense jealousy and trust issues to the point where they have to FaceTime 24/7 to verify that they're not cheating on each other.
I was sitting next to a girl and Mary was overthinking, so I got switched to an empty seat.
Take what literally just happened for an example. On Brandon's first of 3 flights to go to the Philippines, he was seated next to a woman and his girlfriend's mind went to the worst place. She assumed that he was cheating on her because he was seated next to a woman and she broke up with him on the flight. Our main man Brandon has placed himself in quite the toxic relationship. Anytime he has to interact with a woman that isn't his girlfriend accuses him of cheating on her. Wow, Mary, that's not very cash money of you to be acting like this. And speaking on cash money, it's extra disrespectful given the amount of money that Brandon has spent on Mary and her family in this relationship. Mary managed to convince Brandon that they should build a house together in the Philippines with his money. That was the plan. Unfortunately, there was a typhoon that destroyed Mary's family's house. Since then, all the paychecks that Brandon started earning went towards Mary and building the new house. And as a result of his own irresponsible spending, Brandon can barely make ends meet. In fact, he admits to the audience that he only has $250 in his bank account.
Help me, I'm poor.
Clearly, Brandon's favorite movie is The Notebook, and he looks up to Noah because he really built a house for a girl that lives on the other side of the world and he's never met her in real life yet. Imagine a dude buys you a house, spends every single waking moment of every day on the phone FaceTiming you because you're needy. Dude doesn't hang out with his own sister because his sister having girlfriends puts you in a bad mental state because you're insecure, and misses out on a lot of job opportunities because who would want to hire a kid that's FaceTiming his girlfriend 24/7? This dude made you his entire world, and this is how you speak to him because a woman happened to sit next to him on an airplane? Y'all, look at the messages that Mary sent to Brandon. You're a cheater and a liar. I don't want to see you. I don't want to live a life with you. You're not belong here. Don't come here. What a petty thing to fight with your man about when he's the reason why you and your family have a house. Mary, read a book. As if sitting next to a girl is something that this man chose to do. I don't know if you've ever flown on an airplane before, but you don't get to pick the gender of who sits next to you. This dude's been saving for 2.5 years to fly out to the Philippines to see this girl. How is he supposed to not get seated next to a girl? Should he buy the entire row of seats? How does he do that with $250 in his bank account? If anything, from how Mary picked this ridiculous argument with him while he was on the way to the Philippines to see her for the first time, it just seems like she's trying to start a fight on purpose because she already got what she wanted, a home for her and her family. Hey, thanks for the house, Simp. By the way, when you're asleep, I unplug the router and I do TikTok dances in my living room with my guy friends. Do you not trust him with other girls because you can't be trusted with other guys? Does it feel good to break a promise to Brandon that he's not breaking to you? You don't even let him hang out with his mom and sister because you're that controlling and jealous. Brandon tells the audience that him and Mary have been doing video calls for about a year, FaceTiming 24/7, and they promised each other that they wouldn't end the calls. And of course, it was Mary's idea in the first place to constantly be on a video call with Brandon. She wants to feel safe and monopolize this man's time. I'm not exaggerating. Mary doesn't allow Brandon to have any private conversations with friends or family. She always has to be there and involve herself with every single aspect of this man's life. When the audience first met Brandon, he communicated to us that he's living in an RV outside of his godparents' house. Brandon tells the audience that instead of having him pay rent, his godparents just ask that he helps them with house chores, which is really nice of them. It seems like they have a really good relationship. Something to keep in mind about Brandon is that he has a lot of abandonment issues because of his childhood. Brandon says that his mom and dad split up when he was 3 or 4 years old, but his life really took a turn when he turned 15 because at this time, his mom failed a drug test and because of that lost custody of him. Brandon got taken away to live with his dad and his brother and sister went to foster care. At this time, he felt really betrayed and let down by his mother, especially because his dad seems to have been a very abusive guy. Brandon had a lot of instability growing up and that bled into his dating life. So in typical 90-Day Fiancé fashion, he said to himself, I'm not having a lot of luck dating here in America, so I'm gonna take this dating scene international. Brandon says, when I looked at Mary's pictures, I thought she was out of my league. Brandon thought to himself at first, there's no way this really pretty girl would be interested in me, but but then they started staying up all night talking. He says they even stayed up for 5 days in a row, speaking every single moment on the phone. Even though he's talking about what this girl looks like a lot, he goes on to say that he fell in love with Mary's beautiful character. Brandon says that Mary's the #1 student in her class. She's on the dance team. She volunteers her time to read books to the children who can't read good. Brandon says that Mary's the first person to ever enter his life and treat him like he's enough, which is really sad because she doesn't treat him that good. He says, my world was black and white until she entered it. Now it's colorful. He said that out loud. They seem like that couple that's like, I love you more. No, I love you more, honey. I can't wait till we kiss. I know, it's gonna be so colorful. It's probably gonna be like a Coldplay concert. The level of obsession that Brandon has for Mary is off the charts. He's literally crossing off the days until he sees her. Brandon goes on to say that he would wear camo t-shirts all day and sweat in them and then send them to Mary so that she can smell his BO and feel closer to him. And she would do the same thing for him, which is goals.
She also has 8 tattoos total. 2 or 3 of them have my name on it.
That's such an ugly tattoo, Mary. Anyway, Brandon and Mary go on to say that they're so excited to see each other in real life finally.
I can't just go out and talk to any girl working or receptionist or cash register without me and you fighting.
Don't make me feel bad right now because it's your fault.
It's actually Brandon's fault that other women exist. Okay, Mary.
I'm not
too friendly to other girls.
Controlling people like Mary have no problem looking at other men or talking with other men, but the minute Brandon has to interact with another woman, she freaks out on him.
I understand you. I overthink too.
Anytime Mary does something manipulative or toxic, they classify it as overthinking. Brandon obviously didn't have good role models growing up, and as y'all are aware, it's hard to learn what's never shown.
When I get there, I just hope that we won't be fighting like we do.
We fight a lot because we're so far away.
I actually agree to a point. I think when they're living together in the Philippines, they're not going to fight as much because they're going to be able to keep an eye on each other 24/7. Mary seems like a kind of girl that you would feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells with, so a relationship with her doesn't seem that fun. Look at this man. He's scared for his life. Anytime he's in a social situation where he has to talk to a woman, he's looking around like, oh my God, is Mary gonna find out? Is she gonna scream at me? Is she gonna break up with me? He's petrified of this woman. The only time that a girl should be walking all over you is if you're getting a Thai massage. For Brandon, for Gino, for these guys that are scared of the person they're in a relationship with, how about instead of prioritizing looks, you prioritize someone you feel safe with? I'm sure that your mental health would improve greatly. Mentally, Mary seems very young, and she's going to continue to be a jealous person until she realizes that there's nothing you can do that would prevent someone from cheating on you if they want to cheat on you. There's that saying, cheaters find a way, so at some point you need to trust your partner in a relationship and stop comparing yourself to every other person. You're comparing yourself to a woman on a flight that's sitting next to him and your mind's going to the worst place. Realistically, Mary, what do you think's going to happen on an airplane filled with people? Do you think that that woman that's sitting next to Brandon is going to hop on top of him and stick his dick in her? Probably not, man. I don't know what kind of weird porn you've been watching, but in the real world and when you go on flights, that doesn't happen. I'd be bouncing up and down if someone bought me a Monster. I couldn't imagine someone spending $60,000 so that me and my family have a roof over our head because a typhoon came out of nowhere and destroyed our home. And if you think about it, she hasn't even blown this dude yet. I heard that people in Oregon were nice, but I didn't realize that they were this nice. This is how Mary wants Brandon to act if a woman talks to him.
And what's her name?
Mary.
Hey, Mary.
Hello.
Welcome.
Uh-oh, Mary, is your mind going to the worst place? Because a pretty blonde girl is his dental hygienist, and when she's cleaning his teeth, she's gonna be giving him the Gluck Gluck 5000.
Oh yeah, she's so hot.
Oh, yeah, I want to suck his dick.
Oh my god, she's so much hotter than my girlfriend, Mary.
Yeah, baby, yeah. You like it when I choke you?
Oh my god, I would split you in half. And so I did. I fucked her, Mary. Good and hard. Don't overthink it.
As Brandon enters the room, he asks his dental hygienist if he can set up his phone in the corner so that his internet girlfriend can watch him get his teeth cleaned. And his hygienist is like, okay.
Is this your first love?
No, it's not.
Next thing you know, the dentist looks over, sees Mary crying, and says, okay, this is too much drama for me. I need to go. She doesn't actually say that. She says that she's going to go get the doctor's results, but We know what this is about. Mary's distraught because Brandon put her in a really bad headspace by saying that she's not his first love. She says to him, "You lied to me. You said that I was your first love." Then Brandon replies, "No, what she meant by that was first girlfriend." Then Mary responds while fighting back tears, "I have ex-boyfriend too, but he's not my first love. You said I your first love and not you're my first love." And then Brandon hits her back with, "Well, when you put it that way, you are my first love. You're right." It's like, dude, the nurse said first love, not first boyfriend, not first girlfriend. So I don't know if he got confused on purpose to see Mary freak out in the dentist office or not.
Mary, you are my first love.
You know what love is?
Baby, I really didn't mean it like that. I'm sorry.
Just stop.
And if that's not the case and Mary is really not your first love, don't go along with what she's saying just because she's crying and you feel bad for her. Be honest with her.
Anytime I've made Mary upset or I've caused her pain or I was talking to a girl in a certain tone of voice, I feel like I've let her down somehow, some way. I find a way to make her overthink and...
My toxic controlling behavior is just overthinking. Feel sorry for me.
I saw a clip the other day of Brandon acting all pouty when Mary wouldn't turn her camera on while they were FaceTiming. Let's roll the clip of that because you have to see this.
Are you mad?
No, I'm just overthinking because I can't see you.
Why you can't see me?
Because you turned off your camera, you said so.
It's because I want to.
I did kiss you. Here we go, turn on your camera.
Mary, why won't you turn on your camera? Don't you know that my mind's going to the worst place? Are you cheating on me? Is there guys there? Is that why you don't want to turn your camera on? I hate when my mind goes to the worst place. Dude.
Shut the hell up, bitch.
I think they're here just now. I've invited my mom and my siblings over so we could spend some time together before I leave.
Dude, how are you supposed to enjoy your time with your family before you move to the Philippines when you have your angry girlfriend on FaceTime with you muted, listening to every word you're saying? Brandon's mother has been sober for about a year now, and she's been working hard to repair her relationship with her son. She made a lot of mistakes in the past, but now she's looking to be there for her son, give him good advice, and Mary makes that incredibly difficult. Brandon's sister and brother also want to spend more time with him and see him more often. However, Mary doesn't like it when Brandon spends time with his family because they take his attention away from her. Brandon says to the audience that when his mother lost custody of him when he was 15 years old, he didn't see them for a number of years because he had to go live with his dad in another state. However, when Brandon turned 22 years old, he came back to Oregon and they figured out how to have a good relationship. He says good relationship. We're gonna see about that. Brandon adds that he's really proud of his mom, Angela, for being clean for a year. Better late than never. If only the other Angela will get clean so she can stop yelling at Michael.
Can she hear us?
Yeah, but she's muted. Mary's listening in, but she usually keeps herself muted whenever she wants to not chime in.
Mary, you're so rude. You should say hi to his family. Brandon always greets your family, not to mention he bought them a house. Mary, if you're actually planning on marrying Brandon, this is gonna be your family as well, so stop acting like a creep. Just being muted. Just listening to everything they're saying. I'm a fly on the wall. It's so weird. So Mary's straight creeping and Brandon's like, anyways, I ordered pizza, guys.
I thought it was 2 pizzas, but apparently it's 3.
What about Brandon had to make his crazy girlfriend say hi to his sister and she just waved and the sister's like, she looks happy with a big old frown on her face.
Bevy, say hello.
She looks happy.
Clearly, Brandon's family doesn't like Mary, but I can't blame them because she adds 0 value to his life. If anything, it just seems like Brandon is giving everything he has to possess a girl he thinks is really pretty. This dude's full sending it to the Philippines, planning on spending the rest of his life there with Mary, and his family isn't even sure if he can work there. That's one of their many concerns about this move. It's easy to tell that Brandon's mother feels very conflicted about the situation because she wants to offer great advice to her son, but she also recognizes that she failed him in the past and takes accountability for that, something that a lot of people go on the show and don't do. Brandon's sister also wants to look out for her brother, and she recognizes how toxic Mary is.
When Brandon talks about Mary, he doesn't look happy. And him being on call with her 24/7 is obsessive. I have absolutely no respect for her.
Brandon then apologizes to his family for never coming over to the house to see them, and the reason why he doesn't come over to the house is because his mom has female roommates, and Mary doesn't feel comfortable with that.
I'm sorry I haven't been able to come over to your house.
Which is ridiculous for a number of reasons. One off the top of my head being Mary, your boyfriend looks like the adult version of that kid from Stuart Little. He doesn't have enough money in his bank account to take a woman to a nice steak dinner. Stop assuming that every single woman wants to be with him. They don't. It's so brain dead. If you're not FaceTiming me, I don't feel safe. Go get therapy, you weirdo.
Why does she get so upset about it?
Her ex before me would cheat on her.
Is she working on it? Does she want to get better?
She's not exactly working on it, but it's something that we both agreed that will stop when we're together in person.
Mary feeling jealous and her mind going to the worst place is her responsibility. And this just shows how passive and how much of a bitch Brandon is in this relationship.
Okay, you have to admit, though, that in the 2 years that you guys have been together, it hasn't grown into anything beautiful.
That's what you think.
Brandon's mom is being very real with him, but he still chooses to be delusional about this relationship with Mary and have all of his eggs in the Mary basket. Brandon's mom then says that she finds it ridiculous that Mary won't allow Brandon to hang out with his own sister out of the fear that his sister's friends are going to be there as well. Meanwhile, Mary's dancing it up in the living room that Brandon pays for with her guy friends behind his back.
You guys have built a foundation on jealousy and distrust.
Mary starts crying because she wants to play the victim, and Brandon says, Babby, Babby, are you okay? He doesn't say baby, he says Babby because he's a sheep. Mary's crying, playing the victim because the mother called her out on her bullshit, and it's extra funny because Mary's the one that insists that for every conversation in this man's life, whether it's friends or family, she wants to be there. This girl mutes herself, doesn't partake in the conversation, but wants to still listen to everything they're saying like a weirdo, and then gets upset when the mom calls out her toxic behavior in this relationship with her son. And you know what the best part is? We get to meet White Knight Brandon.
Mary's very upset and crying over what you guys are saying.
Huzzah! Huzzah! It's White Knight Brandon defending Mary in front of his family. Mary says, okay, I understand them. I understand. They don't like me in the first place. Oh, little Mary's coming in there with a weak argument. They never said that they don't like you, Mary.
In my opinion, you're choosing Mary over your family. I miss my brother.
I miss you too, JJ.
Interesting. So you miss your family, but you choose to not spend time with them because you don't want to rock the boat with Mary and you're scared of confrontation with your woman. This is you. How do I make a vagina? Is it like this? Brandon constantly communicates to the audience, his friends, and family that things are going to get better with Mary when he eventually moves to the Philippines. Brandon's mom expressed a lot of legitimate concerns before he hopped on that flight to full send it to the Philippines to live with Mary and her family. Brandon's waited 2.5 years to see his girl in the Philippines. The last thing he was expecting was for her to start a fight with him during the flight. And when Mary found out that Brandon was randomly seated next to a girl on the flight, she said to him, "Just wow, you always want to be with girls." I know, such a kid-like response. I'm sure the last thing that this guy wants is to be seated next to girls because that equals more problems with you, Mary. Look at your boyfriend's face. He's real upset and irritated because you're fighting with him about something he has no control over. Freddie Mercury once said, someone will always be prettier, someone will always be smarter, someone will always be younger, but they will never be you. Brandon says that you're a really good student, so let's draw inspiration from the quote that I just read out loud and not compare ourselves to women that Brandon is sitting next to on airplanes. Don't be dumb. Also, let's dance. Wait, did you just dance with another guy? That puts my mind in the worst place because I have trust issues and that's really disrespectful and I might start crying because of that. Turn your camera on when we FaceTime. Mary's harassing Brandon so much that he ends up moving seats, and when he communicates that to Mary, she calls him a liar. Brandon says to the audience that he doesn't know what he can do to appease Mary's demands. Brandon's also high-key stressed out because he has all of his money invested in this relationship. He lands in LA and shows us the conversation thread between him and Mary. Check this out. You make me hurt. You make me crazy. So fuck you and your girls there. Got Brandon writing in all caps, I didn't do anything. I'm fucking done. You're a cheater and a liar. I don't want to see you. I don't want to live a life with you. You're not belong here. Don't come here. I'm done. If you could turn back time, I think that this is absolutely a swipe left if you could do it all again, Brandon, and put that money in your bank account. Look out for yourself. Clearly right now, Brandon and Mary have a very obsessive and dysfunctional relationship, but hopefully when he lands in the Philippines, it gets better and they're able to chillax and trust each other. We're gonna cover Brandon and Mary meeting face to face in the Philippines in our next episode on this couple. Also, a picture of these lovers getting married was leaked, as well as news about Mary being pregnant. I hate to be this guy, but if you don't watch our weekly updates on this couple on the Yourwetsock YouTube channel, then Mary's gonna enter a relationship with you and break up with you when you're on an airplane. If you wanna dress like a cool kid, check out our merch. If you want one-on-one time with me, please order a Cameo. I'm the #1 Cameo creator of all time. Super thankful y'all watch my content. Comment below, subscribe. Love you, brother. Follow me on Twitch and on Instagram right now.